Hey everybody, I'm Joe.
And I'm Courtney. And we are here with the first episode of Shaking Out Loud. And, I think before we kind of get into the conversation, for those of you that don't know us and don't know our story, it's important to understand why we're here and what we're going to talk about. And so Shaking Out Loud, Joe has Parkinson's, but that's not what this podcast is all about. Yes, we are going to be talking about Parkinson's, but it's about the healthcare system as a whole. And we're here to shake things up. We're here to tell you the truth. We're here to talk about plant medicine, psychedelics, neurological issues, etc. We're going to talk about everything. And so...
Yeah, just getting loud about the system, getting loud about the problems within the system, why we're approaching things the way we are. Convince others to do the same. We feel like we trusted our system for a long time. It's broken, and we're here to show you another way.
Exactly. So, why don't we start with a little bit about you? Let's talk about Joe.
Pre-Parky Joe? Or?
Let's talk about Joe. Take it back before your diagnosis and, let everybody know who you are.
Yeah, so for me, I grew up in and around Boston, Massachusetts. Typical, tight-knit Boston family, typical Boston 80s, 90s kid, out causing trouble, playing sports, all the same things. Nothing too crazy about my life before this, pretty normal life. Adult years spent mostly in real estate in some capacity, from lending to selling to investing to consulting. I kind of always centered my purpose around real estate up until my diagnosis. Beyond that, I'm a husband, father, volleyball fanatic. Yeah, that's pretty much it for me right now. I never thought I'd be sitting here giving any type of medical opinion or getting into this lane, but Parkinson's had other plans, so...
Yes, it did.
Yeah, so here we are. What about you? Who's Courtney?
Who am I before this defined the rest of my life? Gosh, I'm a nurse, I'm a mom, I'm a caregiver, I'm a daughter, I'm a sister, but, over 20 years ago, I got into healthcare. I knew I wanted to be a nurse, and there was no question that I was going to do pediatric oncology. And so I got into pediatric oncology and became a travel nurse, worked at some of the top hospitals in the country, did ER, ICU, PACU, you name it. I basically did it all when it comes to clinical care. But after we had our first child, things changed. I needed to get out of the hospital. So got into pharma. So I've seen that side of it too. I was a manager for a team. I was an oncology nurse educator. I know all about the pharmaceutical industry. And then healthcare IT came knocking on my door about 7.5 years ago. And so I became a subject matter expert for the oncology portfolio for a very large, well-known healthcare IT company. Was associate chief health officer, clinical director, etc. So when I say I've seen all sides of healthcare, I really have seen all sides of healthcare. But when you look at it and you think about Joe's diagnosis and everything we're going to share with you over the next however many episodes, it's all been pieced together for a reason. And it's all about our faith, and it's all about God's design and plan for our life. What jobs that I thought, weren't going to be important and weren't going to hold a place in my life, it turns out every single one of them did. And we're going to show you how all of that comes together. So, but yeah, that's a little bit about me before the diagnosis. And yeah, so much has happened over the past, gosh, how long have we been married? 13 years? So much has happened that we are going to talk about. We're not going to talk about all of it today, but the podcast exists out of anger, out of frustration, out of hope, out of mission to tell the truth. And we want to share with everybody that there is another way, and there's another way to heal.
Yeah. I think that's the big point of it all is just, we're done. We're done with the system.
Done.
I think we're getting done. And then this all kind of was the tipping point, and we'll get into all that more as we go. But, this is just us just sharing our story and hoping it resonates.
Yeah.
All right. So I think by now everyone has a pretty good idea of our boring past prior to...
Oh, it's boring compared to how it is now.
prior to me telling you about my Parkinson's. But, beyond that, why are we even here? Why are we having this conversation? I guess that's probably the important stuff to get out of the way right now is... fill everyone in on what got us here. So yeah, anything you want to add to that right now?
What got us here? Yeah. How much time do you have? You've heard our backgrounds like Joe said, but I had no idea I was going to marry a guy with Parkinson's. No clue. He didn't tell me. He just knew I was a nurse and I would take care of him.
She answered my ad. I was looking for a nurse.
You're so stupid.
Yeah.
But no, I mean, this world, our healthcare system, it's an absolute joke. It's an absolute mess. And we're here to talk about it. We're here to talk about the good, the bad, and the really ugly with every single bit of our healthcare system. And the stories, the misdiagnoses, the fact that I have had to step in and diagnose more people with issues because the doctors are blind to it all. They miss so many things. And you get to our parents' age and it's like, they're expendable. And that's kind of what we've been experiencing as well. And we're not going to be quiet about it anymore because people don't have to suffer at the hands of our healthcare system when there is another way. Our way may not be perfect for everybody, but we're here to tell you about our way anyways, and in the hopes that it might help. What do you want to add to that?
No, I mean, I hate to say it's about us being pissed off, but I guess it's like in a lot
I'm real
of ways,
pissed off.
Getting diagnosed with Parkinson's pissed me off, obviously, but I think it was the years and years before getting that diagnosis that is why I'm sitting here today. It's like I'm pissed off about all the other times I went to the doctor, all the other times I got a prescription for this or that without anybody looking any further, without anybody piecing all these things together. I think a little more on our backstories, like I am pretty damn stubborn and I think you're pretty smart. So I think together we're capable of having these conversations and trying new things and helping people find a different way. Because I know I can't be the only one that feels this way. And I think, like everything else we've started, it's based on this. It wasn't there when we got this news. None of this was there for us to hear or us to know about, or nobody out there talking about these things. And I feel like it's important if no one else is doing it, like we have to be the ones to do it. So yeah, I mean, I guess that's the big part of it is two stubborn people with the brains to do it.
You told me I'm smart though.
Smart, not
I'm
smarter. I didn't say smarter. So.
Yeah, I mean, jumping back on the we're pissed off part, it's, my gosh, all the prescriptions, all the side effects, everything that they don't talk about or they blow off. Oh, that's rare. That's not going to happen. No, that's not true. Or my line that I love best at the oncologist with my mom was no amount of diet or supplements is ever going to change your outcome. It's ridiculous. He's like, don't you think if there was a magic supplement, I would be taking it? And I had to just, okay. Let's go, Mom, and I'm going to take care of you better than your doctor's going to, obviously. And so it's just story after story, people that we've talked to, there's always something going wrong.
Yeah, it really is. And I don't know how else to put it. I mean, I think we're just, we're trying to find another way. We're not out here pushing a cure or any miracles or anything like that. Like, we're just truly curious people just looking for other options and, trying to give a big FU to our healthcare system at the same time. And so here we are. So I guess like a big thing I would guess people would probably be wondering is like with your background, you've spent years in pediatric oncology and pharma and, healthcare IT, and you've just been all over the place with your journey on the healthcare side. Like, why are you so opposed to it if you've worked in it for so long? Why are you so interested in going this direction opposed to that direction?
It's a big question.
I know the answer, so I'm just going to
I know you know the answer because healthcare is not what they want you to believe it is. And that's the problem. They separate you by specialist, right? So you go to one specialist for this issue, and then they send you to another one because they don't know how to figure it all out. They don't look at the body as a whole person. They look at little symptoms here and there, and let's figure out which pharmaceutical I'm going to give you for this symptom. But then, oh God, that's going to really mess you up even more. So I'm going to give you another pill to fix that side effect of the one that you were taking before that. And it's just a constant domino effect. Nobody's really looking at the body as a whole system that communicates. Your whole body communicates with every single system. And nobody's looking at that. Nobody's looking at how do I come in and fix the root cause, the why behind all of these other issues. Because it's not just a symptom, something caused it, right? I'm the type of person like the nerd in the back of the room, actually the front of the room now, that I want to know the why. You can't just slap me with a prescription and send me on my way without telling me the why behind it. Oh, it's going to stop you from tremoring? Is it? Or what else is it going to do? I mean, we've seen all of that stuff. There's just so many things. This goes back since we first met. Yeah. I mean, with all your psoriasis stuff and doctor after doctor, biopsy after biopsy. I mean, it was an absolute mess. And come to find out, psoriasis is a big part of Parkinson's. A lot of people with Parkinson's have skin issues, and skin issues are a result of your gut. And it starts in the gut. Everything starts in the gut. So anyways, not to get off on that, but I started waking up, and we'll get into this on the next episode, but COVID woke a lot of people up. And it woke me up. My conviction had already been starting, and God had already picked me, I guess, from the beginning, knowing that I was going to get loud and we were going to be dealt these cards. COVID really came in, and it's like you're either on one side or you're on the other. There is no middle ground. And so more to come on that. But
it's a fun story.
It's a really fun story. It's very interesting.
But I think to add on to that, I think we've kind of had this like belief that something wasn't right with our system, the way things were going. But I think it truly started to shift like right before COVID, like kind of leaning into that whole state of time that things really started to shift for us and start to like kind of take control and ownership of our health. And yeah, I think our healthcare belief system started to really shift around then. So yeah, that's something we're definitely going to get into next. I think that's big part of our story leading up to this diagnosis and something we should share.
Yeah, I agree. So I shared a little bit about my frustrations, and trust me, stay tuned because there's going to be a lot more. But what about you? I mean, you've been through a lot, and this isn't just from Parkinson's. It's been misdiagnosis after misdiagnosis, pill after pill in the past. You know, I mentioned the biopsy after biopsy. It was just being kind of tossed around because nobody could figure out exactly what was going on.
Yeah, I mean, the story of my life, really, it's you go to the doctor, you leave with a prescription is basically the model I learned to follow for a long time. And I think, I was screaming something's wrong, in every which way. And you'd go in and you'd get this, hey, take this, you have this. But it was like never really trying to discover anything beyond that. And it was, then you get your bill for that appointment and you're like, I literally just spent like $300 to get a prescription.
Yeah,
a lot of that going on before the diagnosis, and I stayed in line. I followed the course, and I was in that standard of care that they desperately want you to stay within. Yeah, prior to my diagnosis, I was just a normal, do what you're told patient. And I think, once I heard this news, I knew it was time to kind of rebel against that system that really didn't do anything but get me to that point of getting diagnosed with Parkinson's. So that's when it all changed for me.
Yeah, no, I agree with all of that. And I think the sad thing is a lot of times, and not even with just you, but I'm sure all of you that are listening can relate in some way, shape, or form. A lot of times they don't believe you, right? So you could go years without a diagnosis. People make you think that you're crazy, and you're not. It doesn't matter if it's your kid or if it's yourself. Like when you're trying to fight for yourself and trying to advocate, my gosh, like what would you do without me? You know what I mean? And I say that lightly, but it's so true. If you don't have somebody in your family or in your close like social network that can advocate for you, that like really understands what's going on, you're screwed. I mean, you really are. And whatever you can say, I'm wrong, I don't care, I'm never gonna change my mind on that. If you don't have the ability to advocate for yourself or have somebody else there for you, you're in for a long road of hell, and it's absolutely horrible. And I think that is, and just with the Parkinson stuff, these people need help. Like help these people, and we shouldn't have to be the ones out there getting loud and trying psychedelics and plant medicine because clinical trials are going to take another decade. Like it's not right. And people are trained, they are brainwashed to think that whatever their doctor says is true. Whatever prescription he gives you, you got to take it. No. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And that is the end of my rant.
End of your rant, yeah. I think that kind of wraps us up on this one, right? I think we'll get into the whole...
the story around our conviction, that is coming. That is coming next. And I think it's a very important conversation to have. One, that they made you basically feel shameful for even going through what we did. And the time has come. We're going to share. So stay tuned.